fighting out of Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, Damien Brown.
What's up, folks? Welcome to the Wireless Podcast. I'm your host, Damien Brown, UFC and Army veteran. I created the Wireless Podcast to cover all things sport, lifestyle, physical and mental health. It's not about me, it's about the listeners. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Beatdown155 or subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Wireless Podcast, and hopefully we can produce some wicked content for you in the near future.
And welcome to the podcast, guys. We're here this morning with Cam O'Neill, the Eternal MMA promoter. Welcome, mate.
Good morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm awesome.
Good.
It's good to have you on.
It is. I'm aspiring to grow a beard like yours at the moment.
Oh, yeah, you've definitely you've had a trim just for the occasion. But thanks for making the drive, which was only half an hour up to Brisbane.
that was what I originally thought, but I was informed this morning when I woke up that Kashmir is quite far away from home. But look, it was a good drive up. And
oh man, I appreciate it. It's always better to, where possible, have people in than online. It's kind of cool to sit across from people and have a good chat. So yeah, thanks for that.
Not a problem. I always enjoy having a chat with you, Damien. I think we've had plenty of chats over the years, sitting at fight shows or standing at fight shows watching them. So
always, I love a good chat. So basically, tell us a little bit about yourself, so people know who you are. Even though the promotion is never about the person, but it's about just promoting it or whatever. But tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe your martial arts background as well, and then we'll crack on from there.
yeah, well, obviously I'm half of the promotion team from Eternal MMA. I founded it myself back in 2012 after coming off the back of running Days of Glory MMA before that. Ben Vickers out in Western Australia is the other half of Eternal MMA, and we run shows all over Australia. We do Adelaide, Melbourne, Western Australia, Queensland. We're going to focus on the Gold Coast rather than Brisbane this year, and we've started moving into New Zealand as well. 52 shows with Eternal. We've recently launched our amateur series, which is the S Development Series. It's going to be a complete amateur series show. That's basically just to help the way that we're going with Eternal, going to put more pro fights on Eternal, be more of a pro show, but we still want to give the opportunities to amateurs as well, so we're going to run DS. That's obviously hitting head a little bit recently with the timing of COVID. DS1 was just at the end of last year, and we had quite a big tournament planned for the fitness show in Sydney this year, but the fitness show obviously had to be postponed and put back to...
So that's Filex, right? The fitness convention?
The fitness expo.
The big one?
Yeah, the big fitness expo. Yeah, so we've teamed up with them, and we're going to be running the MMA section of the fitness show.
Yeah, cool. And you're just going to put fights on there, like promote an event during the fitness expo?
During the fitness expo, we're going to have an amateur Grand Prix that's going to run over 2 days.
I went to that fitness expo in 2011. It's insane.
Yeah.
It was one of the, I was a PT instructor in the Army at the time, one of the best, 3 days away ever. It was awesome. They had CrossFit competitions, main stage, everything going. And then obviously the expo as well. And then for the trade people, they got in the background, they got trade events. So you can go to 40-minute tutorials and people doing seminars and all that sort of stuff. So it's 3 days worth of seminars. It's pretty cool.
They put about 30,000 people a day through that down in Sydney and Melbourne, and what they're looking to do is exactly what you said. I think they started off, first of all, changing away from just the complete expo format to having the event format and the competition format running alongside it with CrossFit. But they now do powerlifting as well. They now do figure modelling as well. And we're obviously going to start running their MMA component. So that's pretty exciting. So we'll see that in 2021.
That would have been some fantastic exposure for local athletes. I mean, that's the biggest fitness convention expo in the country. Yeah. Easy. I mean, Melbourne probably next behind it. Brisbane's is okay, but that's easy, the biggest one in the country. So that would have been good for amateur athletes, good for Eternal as well. Yeah,
we were looking at it from, we were obviously looking at it from the athletes' exposure point of view, but also from our exposure to athletes in Sydney and Melbourne as well. But primarily it was a brand exercise. It was putting the Eternal brand in front of, 30,000 plus people per day that were not MMA fans. You know,
Yeah.
for zero extra dollars to buy their ticket to come into the fitness show, they would have been able to, you know, to climb up in the bleachers and sit and watch an Eternal event.
That would have been fantastic. I mean, you don't really get a ton of MMA guys going to a fitness expo where there's bodybuilding and powerlifting and everything else. So that would have definitely reached out to a wide variety of different
without a
people.
doubt. And that was our plan. You know, we were going to split it up so as the morning was going to be seminars. We were going to bring in some very high level people to do grappling and MMA seminars in the mornings. Yep. People that would attract you know, people to want to actually go to these seminars. And then they could stay for the event in the afternoon. So that was good. So so look, that's my history with Eternal. You know, 52 shows and running it off the back of the event that I'd done before it, Days of Glory, which we done 2 events on. Been in Australia for 15 years since 2005. So coming up for my 15th year anniversary.
Pretty close to the Australian accent too.
It's coming. I say to people I meet often that struggle to understand me at first, that it's strange when I speak to my friends back in Scotland, they even right from day one, not even from day one, maybe from 6 months or a year in, they say to me, "Oh, you sound dead Australian now." I'm like, fuck, people in Australia don't think so. No. You know, I just can't phone any of these voice recognition places. See, like I've got to phone Telstra and you've got to choose your option by saying, you know, billing or accounts. I've got no chance. You know, I just don't do it. I just wait till I'm in arrears and they phone me. You know, it's a person, and I say, "Well, I can't call your automated service."
Yeah. When I go to America, I get told I got a strong accent, and I'm like, but to me, I just talk like everyone else here. Yeah, and they're like, "Man, I can't understand you." I stayed with a family over there for a month, and there was 3 of us staying there, and they'd always go, "Huh?" Every time I talk, "Huh?" I'm like, what do you mean?
You can see the head going.
And they'd really interact with me, like really concentrate to understand me. But then the other 2 that were with me, they just understood them straight away. So
I mean, I've started coming back to people with that and saying, "I don't have an accent. You've got an accent."
Yeah.
You know, and just
I'm talking English.
Apparently.
So why MMA?
Why not? Simple as that. You know, I've been involved in martial arts basically my whole life. Done a lot of sports growing up in Scotland. Obviously, you know, Scottish. Played football, soccer. Played a lot of soccer. Done a bit of judo. Done a bit of boxing.
I know what football is, mate.
Good on you, Cobber. Done a bit of judo for a few years. Then basically, you know, done some boxing, and then right up until I came to Australia, I was doing kickboxing and Japanese jiu-jitsu. So I was doing both of them. There was nowhere else in Scotland where I could learn Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which is what I wanted to learn, which is why I went to Japanese jiu-jitsu just for the ground component. And then when I came to Australia, you know, there was, especially Gold Coast, there was so many jiu-jitsu gyms. Got here in 2005, and the first thing I done was I drove past trying to remember the name of it, Fight World shop in Southport, the Bruce Lee outside it. Yeah. Drove past there and I thought, I'll go in there and ask old mate if there's any clubs round about. So went in there and he gave me Daniel Lima's details.
Fight club?
Yeah, Fight Club.
Yeah.
And he was in 5 Rings at the time. 5 Rings was down in the front at Mermaid Beach.
Yep.
And at that point in time, Daniel was just renting some mat space there. Went down and started training there, and you know, I've been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on and off ever since then. Sometimes more off than on, but I can do it. It's like a FIFO relationship I've got with it. You know, I'll do 9 months on, 9 months off. You know,
it's a busy life. You know, we lead a busy life with imagine promoting, and then for me, like trying to compete, family, son, gym. I mean, it's pretty hard to stay consistent if you if other things are a priority, right?
Something's got to give. You know what I mean? You've got. Especially when you're married, you've got a family, you've got responsibilities, you've got a mortgage, you know, something's got to give, and usually it's the thing that's not paying the rent, you know, it's not paying the bills. You know, that's got to be the priority, and then obviously family comes second. So, you know, quite often training was the one thing that, never promoting, but training would take the back seat. But I think if you look at my history, everything else has been pushed by the wayside. Promoting's, you know, even relationships, marriages, everything's been pushed by the wayside for promoting. But it's life does get pretty busy.
Promoting's the job, right?
Yeah.
So it's like for me, competing, so training doesn't get pushed aside because competing's the work, that's what I do for work. So you moved into MMA, Days of Glory?
Days of Glory, yeah.
2 shows?
2 shows, so that was 2011. Done them at the convention centre, big shows. There's a little... Take too long to get into the ins and outs of Days and Glory, how it gets started and how it get wound up. But both these shows were hugely successful. Especially at that time. At that time, South East Queensland, around about the same time you were coming up through it first as well, Damien. There was a lot of competition. There was a lot of good shows. That was probably the golden era for MMA in South East Queensland. Probably between 2011 and 2014, maybe was.
I moved to Brisbane in 2011, and it was like there was 3 shows a month.
Yeah,
it's like if you got a weekend off in the month where you didn't have to support a teammate or go to watch a fight show because it was new to us and we loved it, and we still love it, but like it's new. You go to every show you can get to. That's your entertainment. And it was like when there was a weekend off, you're like, I can relax.
I know. Like I would be to say, you had bit shows every single week back then. It was. It was a different time, and outside of Queensland, it wasn't really strong. There wasn't a scene. There was a scene, but nothing like as competitive as it was for promoters anyway in South East Queensland. We were all fighting over the same commodity. We were all fighting over the same fighters. We knew who we wanted on the shows. We knew who people that wanted to buy tickets wanted to see. And just trying to get them on the shows was it was a different day back then.
Well, it was good for fighters because we had a pick, right?
Yeah, exactly. These could play us off against each other.
So what is it when you're looking for the fighter that you want?
Yep.
What kind of fighter are you looking for to put on your show? Like, you need all of them, right? But what are you looking for in an athlete to give a contract to get on your show?
We'll put this straight into pro fighters because, obviously I treat pro fighters and amateur fighters very differently. And even with amateur fighters, you treat the debuts and the more experienced amateurs different again, But for pro fighters, the way that we or the qualities that we look for in a pro fighter now, or what makes a pro fighter attractive to us now, has evolved over the last few years. Mm-hmm. It used to be very geographically specific. We've got a show in Queensland and Gold Coast. So straight away, what we want is somebody who's a good pro, who, is within driving distance of the event, cut down on the costs for travel and accommodation. And then we can invest more in that person and trying to grow, to develop them and grow them, by spending the money and bringing people in, the right people in to fight them that they want to fight and that we want them to fight and that the public wants to see them fight, and still be able to recoup the cost through the ticket sales, obviously. And not only that, but have the correct atmosphere, which is important inside the venue because people can relate to that person. It's fucking Damien. I see him down the shops. I train with him at the gym. I went to school with him. So I'll buy a ticket, I'll go and see him, and I'll sit in the crowd and shout for him. So that was what we used to look for. Now that we've got shows all over Australia, that's things have changed slightly. We still try and put the Queensland-based fighters in the Queensland shows, the Western Australian-based fighters on the Western Australian shows, but it's not the deciding factor anymore. What we'll do now is we'll speak to the fighter, we'll see how often they want to fight a year, where they want to actually go, and then we'll put in place like a plan for them. Right, if you keep winning, you'll fight here, you'll fight here, you'll fight here, you'll fight here, and you'll be ready for a title shot. And that might be shorter or longer depending on what their experience is. And we just move on with that game plan. And the idea is that we're moving to 6 or 7 pro fights in every single show, on 13 or 14 fight cards. So, we've quite often now started even having 2 out-of-state fighters on shows, like 2 Queensland fighters fighting against each other in Victoria.
Yep.
We're quite often having that. And the good thing is now, with the way that we are doing our social media, especially our YouTube, and putting all our undercards on YouTube free, there's no pay-per-view now for us. You want to watch the main card, it's UFC Fight Pass. So you're getting your Fight Pass subscription, which the majority of people who are MMA fans in Australia will have anyway.
Oh, I know people who have got it that are not necessarily just MMA fans, like want to watch Submission Underground, and
exactly.
So then they catch on that there's local shows and their friends on it and stuff like that. They just
realistically, we're not incurring any extra cost to these people to watch the full show. They can watch the undercard and YouTube. They can watch the main card and Fight Pass. So people are still interested in these guys, even though they're not in their hometown. But the other most important qualities that I've always looked for is turn up in weight, turn up in time, and they're honest with me as well. They put in an honest performance. They put an honest value on themselves. They promote themselves positively. They promote the show positively, and they don't do anything fucking stupid that brings a negative light upon the sport and themselves. I'm not really interested in that associated with us.
So how much does, we see it a lot locally, we'll probably see a little bit after coronavirus shut down, how much does missing weight hold, pardon the pun, how much weight does that hold as far as them getting another fight with your promotion? If someone has a bad miss, they're a little bit lazy, a little bit arrogant about it.
Look, shit happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if shit keeps happening, it's like any job. You go to any job and you make a mistake. People make mistakes. People are human. But if you keep making the same mistakes, then, the person who's paying for you and who's looking for you to do a specific service at a specific time, at a specific weight, it's going to start getting pissed off with it a little bit. And not only that, it's just the disrespect to the other fighter who's, he's maybe got this, more issues going on at home than what the guy who's missed weight has, and he's maybe sacrificed more overtime, more time with his family. He's maybe hurt himself physically getting to that weight, which I hope nobody actually ever does. But, you just don't know the condition of the person that's weighing in to fight you has got. So it's quite disrespectful to, that's the biggest thing with me, is the disrespect to the person who's fighting you. And if it's a big miss, there's a monetary, the way that it works in Australia, as you'll know, is there's a monetary penalty, a financial penalty imposed upon missing weight. But, the amount of money that we're paying people in Australia isn't enough as it is anyway.
Yeah.
So the fine is fucking negligible, you know what I mean? For somebody to maybe lose $250 or $500 rather than hurting themselves for an extra couple of hours is...
Yeah. Yeah, there's a line that most of them are drawing in the sand on what price they put on their health, right?
Yeah.
And like some people from a professional point of view will just make themselves cut that extra weight.
Yep.
Like they don't care. They just fucking sit in the sauna until it's done. But some people think a little differently. I mean, probably a little differently to me. They'll be like, is this extra 2 hours in the sauna and potentially 3 hours in a hospital worth $500? The real answer is no.
Yeah,
it's not.
I don't want anybody hurting themselves to get to weight. It's as simple as that. But I don't live with these guys 24 hours a day, so I don't know what weight they are when they tell me, I can make that weight. And then when you look at their history and you think, well, they've made weight every other time, I've got no reason to suspect that they are doing anything stupid, to get to that weight. We've seen quite often lately that there's a point of diminishing returns. You're seeing a lot of people actually moving up in weight. People that are on that cusp that, Robert Whittaker's a great example. Since he moved up to middleweight, he's a great example.
Man, I seen him. I can't remember. It was at the Ultimate Fighter tryouts in Sydney after one of his welterweight fights, and he's like 100 kilos. And he's like, man, I'm 100 kilos right now. I'm like, holy fuck! You just fought at 77, like, 3 or 4 days before. Do you know what I mean? Like 23 kilos.
So hopefully people are getting smarter and they realise that there is a point of diminishing returns. It's not a bodybuilding contest. It's not a aesthetic figure contest. You've got to be able to perform athletically in a combat situation.
Well, I think that the biggest issue, and I mean, this is what I find myself. I do a decent weight cut, and my biggest issue is I'd love to fight at welterweight, but it's the guy that you're fighting at welterweight who's cut from 95, 100 kilos and fighting at welterweight. Yeah. And then you're like, the next night you're fighting a dude who's, if I cut to welterweight, it'd probably be 85 the next night at the most, 83 maybe. The guy's going to be 90, plus 95 maybe. You know, I've a 10 to 12 kilo loss. But if I go to lightweight, regardless of how lean everyone is, by the time I lean down, I go back to 78. The other guys are maybe 80.
Yeah.
It's like 2 kilos difference. So I've been there my whole career, and it feels like that's a comfortable thing to do, but I'm 35 now, and, you know, there's a point where, like, maybe you flirt with the idea of going up. But it's the, I guess, fear of who you're going to face.
The good thing is, and you're one of the people who take advantage of it. My daughter Casey, who's big for a strawweight as well, she takes advantage of it. As the science is moving forward as well, and the amount of knowledge that's round about nutrition for combat sports is, you know, compared to what it was even 5 years ago, is through the roof. And obviously Jordy, the fight dietitian, that most people who listen to your podcast will probably be aware of, because he was on one of the earlier ones. You know, the science that he actually brings to people's nutrition during fight camp, and then, you know, sits with them the whole way through their weight cuts as well. It is really changing the way weight cuts are done, and hopefully, you know, for the better.
Oh man, he's unreal. He's very good at what he does. I unfortunately haven't been in a position to have him there fight week yet, because he's always working with the superstars at the same time as I'm fighting.
You're saying he's got favourite clients?
No, I'm just saying they pay better than I do. No, so he's you know, he's been busy each time I've had a fight, but he's worked with me, and the weight cuts are definitely far better with him than without him. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I've done some pretty horrendous.
Look, as a promoter, obviously I see him looking after. You know, sometimes you can look after 5 or 6 athletes on the one card. So I see him quite often. You know, especially with the amount of cards that we've got. You know,
especially on the Gold Coast, right?
Yeah, on the Gold Coast, but not even just on the Gold Coast. That recent New Zealand card that we had as well, he was there looking after all the athletes down in Melbourne. He was there. I think the only place we've not seen him's Perth. You know, so
so you've recently started holding events. Well, one, you guys did a deal with Fight Pass, right? Yeah. So you stream on Fight Pass. So how at what point did you think that was a good idea, and how did it come about? People have done it before, right? They
have. How it actually came about, the complete backstory to it, I'll tell you after this. Yeah. But basically what happened was that we had been in talks with another company, and we were going to be doing some work with them in Australia, which would have elevated the sport in Australia. But there was a falling out, and one of the components of the deal that we were doing was we were going to be going through Fight Pass, and there was a falling out between us and the other promotion, and we decided, you know, well, if these guys are offering it to us, they obviously want the product already, because they're asking us to be the people to run it for them. So I just sent Dave Shaw an email, and I got a phone call the next day, and basically went from there.
Yeah, sweet. And how positive has Fight Pass been for your brand?
We'll probably sit down after a year. We've done 5 events on it. Now. We'll sit down after a year and we'll look at the metrics in terms of, the growth, the exposure, the reach, and obviously financial impact on Eternal as a whole. So we'll probably look at it after the 12 months to get a better snapshot of what's happening. As a brand, I think it's already, you can see the difference from pre-Fight Pass to post-Fight Pass, and that's in terms of the investment that we've actually made. The investment that we've made in digital marketing and digital assets for during the broadcast, and for social media during broadcasts, and as well as promotion of athletes, has been quite substantial. And I think it's night and day compared to what it was before. We always felt we were pretty good at promoting the show and at promoting athletes online, and the quality of, the product we're putting out. But I think now that, I think it's comparable to practically any other show that Fight Pass has got on there in terms of quality of production. Yep.
It's fun to watch on there for sure. I mean, there's not many bad quality productions on Fight Pass. Yep. So it's a good streaming service, and we've been lucky. A couple of the events that we've had, obviously, as soon as we've on there, we've changed the format in the way that we've got to have a minimum number of pro fights, and they obviously go on the main card. But the quality of the fight that's actually we've had since we've been on Fight Pass has been fantastic. I don't know if it's
I don't know if that's a coincidence or if the fighters are just raising their game a little bit, or if, I don't know.
I think, well, there was another Australian promotion that previously ran, that doesn't now, that was on Fight Pass. And I know myself, when their shows are on Fight Pass, you feel like someone's watching you.
Yeah, they are, hopefully.
Well, you do hope that there's a better reach, but you feel like there's a chance that people who matter, if depending on what your goal is, are watching you.
Yeah.
So do you fight? You 100% fight different. It's a weird. It's so mental. This game. Yeah. It's like really such a mental side of the game, as far as performance goes. When you feel like people are watching you.
Yeah.
You know?
And look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you look at it, or what you get told from any person, or what I spin to you when I'm trying to get you to fight on a show. At the end of the day, if you're fighting on an Eternal that's on Fight Pass, well, already you're fighting on a UFC-based platform. So they've already got video of you. They've already got footage that you can use of you. They're already know that the people who subscribe to their channel are aware of you, and they might enjoy watching you fight, So, yeah, go out there and put on as good a show as you possibly can.
Yeah. So I watched your show that you held. This is the other thing I want to talk to you about. Having events the night before UFC events.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. I mean, that even I thought that was cool. I was like, maybe I could fight on one of those shows,
Well, I'm just I'm kicking myself with the COVID thing, because obviously this weekend we didn't be in Perth. It was UFC Perth was this Sunday, and we had a show booked for HBF for the Saturday as well, and we had a fantastic card match for it. There was a couple of other things that we had up our sleeve, and so a couple other people had up their sleeve for us for that show as well. So it's fucking disappointing.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, even I reached out to you about that one, not for myself, but for other athletes. I don't really manage anyone. I just help out a couple of friends, But yeah, so it's pretty interesting. Has that, I guess, has it attracted different people to your show? Like people who may be employed, or like Dana White.
Oh, we've got
rumors.
I think
there was rumors of maybe a Dana White looking for a fight.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
It makes sense,
We'll chat about that later
he doesn't come to Australia very often, but he's always here for the UFC. So if it's the night before, I don't know. Maybe I'm starting a rumor.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard that rumour as well. But no, I think if you watch any of the broadcasts, especially the New Zealand broadcast, and you watch the Melbourne broadcast, you can see plenty of people in the crowd. There was Sean Shelby was at New Zealand. He was at New Zealand show, and there was plenty of other UFC staff there. And at the Melbourne show, Mick Maynard was at the Melbourne show, and there was plenty of other UFC staff there as well. But look, it's on the night before.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people in town. There's obviously going to be high, whether they're coming just to enjoy a night out or whether they're coming to specifically watch somebody, it shouldn't really matter to anybody. Yeah. They're still going to be sitting there watching the show, supporting the best performance
they all go out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Everyone, if I was, unless you're a coach or an athlete and you're in a hotel room the night before, the UFC staff go out. By the time they get to the night before the event, everything's in place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So most of them will go out, and it makes perfect sense,
Yeah, without a doubt. And look, all the ones who are in the hotel that are fighting the next day or coaching the next day are watching it in Fight Pass anyway, because I'm usually fielding 30 or 40 texts an hour from them. But no, it's a cool model, and we're gonna, we're not obliged to, but we're definitely going to carry on doing that every single time they're in Australia, New Zealand region.
That's cool. The New Zealand card, man, that was an unreal fight show.
Yeah.
Like that, I watched it here on Fight Pass, and Dimps and
Blood Diamond.
Holy shit, man! What a fight! That was that was a really cool fight.
It was. Look, that card was. We had a couple of issues over there, to tell you the truth. Not with the fighters, not with the gyms or anything. More with the venue and with the production over there. So you'll probably see that the level of production that show is a bit lower than all the other ones that we've done, which for the money that we paid, it fucking shouldn't have been. It should have been a lot higher. Yeah. But it'll be okay, bro. Yeah. We were getting that kind of vibe off of anything that we asked. Can we get this? Yeah, bro.
Yeah, we'll sort it. Yeah.
And remember we asked you for Oh yeah, bro, so you did. But there you go. And my little business partner, Ben Vickers, who's not the biggest, most imposing person in the world. He was what ended up working security cage side that night as well, which I'm pretty sure would spend some decent coin in security. Yeah. But look, the in terms of the fights in the cage, the ones that you could actually see, because the lighting was that fucking bad. The ones that
when you were talking about production, that's really the one thing I noticed was it was quite dark.
Yeah, man. I'm dirty as about that. But anyway,
nothing like feeling like you're fighting in a dark alley, but
nothing like feeling as if somebody just robbed you. But the fights were fantastic. As you say, Dimps Blood Diamond is probably the pick of the fights for that full show. But I think Ricky's performance in the heavyweight division, the fact that he came in here, he was a late entry. He only took that.
Is he a light heavyweight?
No, he's not. He should be, but when I say he should be, that's not fair. He's obviously, him and his team have made a decision to fight at heavyweight. And he walked in there at 108 kilos. He was the lightest.
Jack. Yeah, first, right?
Jack's fucking fat.
He is massive.
Yes,
he's a big dude, man.
And he wasn't the biggest.
You get his gloves custom made.
Yeah, we were having dramas with these gloves, finding gloves to actually fit him.
Big guy.
Yeah, he's a big guy, and so is that Damien Maru from Carl Weber's gym as well. He's another big guy, and like the two smallest guys in the Grand Prix, Henry Burns from CKB and Ricky from Metamorphica, Ricky Beecham from Metamorphica down in Melbourne, got to the final, and for us to have a heavyweight Grand Prix and every single fight go the distance, it's unheard of. It's unheard of.
I mean, those guys should be knocking each other out every second minute.
I know. And then when you look at the technical ability of Ricky and Henry on the ground in the final, they were sweeping each other. There was reversals. There was, it was.
And even the fight with Jack was fun to watch.
Yeah.
I was watching it the whole time. And the thing with heavyweights is, I mean, if they got a little bit of a gas tank, it makes it even more fun because, even in the third round, if they're not on their haunches and they got a bit of a gas tank, then anything can happen.
I was going to say that can finish like that.
You're like either one of them touches each other. At that point, they're still going to sleep.
Especially if Jack touches you.
Yeah, we've seen what he did to Alex
Simon.
Yeah.
And Alex Simon was so hyped coming into that fight. There was that much momentum behind him. Things that he'd achieved outside of MMA, the people that he had backing him. I think they'd already had a pathway, in place for him. You've just got to go over these little speed bumps in the way there.
Yeah. That's the problem.
He hit one of the speed bumps, in the form of Jack's right hand.
Fucking worst speed bump to have. Yeah. Cool. So what's the future look like? Well, coronavirus has messed up a heap of gyms.
Yep.
It's messed up the promotions. I mean, it's messed up everything.
We've already started looking at dates. We've started looking at dates in 3 states at the moment, in Queensland, Western Australia and Victoria. Now, it's fantastic us looking at dates, but we've got to coordinate obviously with gyms and fighters because people have got to be able to get in and get a decent level of training for 8, 10, 12 weeks before they're going to be ready.
It's nice to hear that, mate. I've been asked by a few people how long it takes for athletes to get ready. And some people are thinking around 6 weeks, but maybe if you're training all year round, 6 weeks is a good time. Like I like 4 to 6 weeks is good notice for me. Maybe not for the weight cut, but
if you've got momentum,
good notice. Do you know what I mean? We do a catch weight 75, 76. Let's go. Yeah, 4 weeks. And
that's if you've got momentum and you're already in the gym, but not if you've been sitting in your arse down the garden for 3 months.
No way. So 8, 10, 12 weeks for fighters to get ready. That's really good to hear. So where are you looking?
All 3 states, mate. Come on, we've done.
There's 5 states, 2 territories.
We've done two countries and 2 states and 1 country in 15 days at the start of the year. We don't fuck about.
Yeah. So there's obviously going to be one on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, look, Gold Coast is probably one of our most important regions. Gold Coast and Perth are two most important regions. We've had a lot of success there for a long time. And Victoria is one that we're going to build. So we're not really looking outside of that triangle at the moment for the rest of this year. So we'll probably just cycle events round about the 3 locations. But again, the other thing that's going to come into this quite a lot is we're not as badly affected by it as what most other promotions will be, or what all other promotions will be, as the audience numbers that you're allowed to attend each show. I mean, the only way that we can afford to do any level of show is by selling tickets. It's as simple as that, and everybody's the exact same as that. And the amount of money that we're spending in a show now is fucking, it's a lot of money, especially the level of,
That's good. Like, I mean,
level of production.
It's like gyms, right? You can put jigsaw mats in and build a gym, or you can put tatami mats in and build a gym. You get two different products. It just is what it is.
Yeah, you pay for your jigsaw mats with 15 people on a weekly subscription, but your tatami mats, you maybe need 30 people on your weekly subscription. Exactly. But if your gym's only allowed to hold 20 people, well, you're never going to roll your tatami mats out, are you? So what we are looking to do is we are in contact with the combat sports commissions and the government in each of these states to try and find out what sort of time frame there is on certain numbers. We're pricing shows accordingly. We're never going to compromise the quality, put it this way. After this amount of time off, we're not even coming back with a normal Eternal show. We're going to come back with a big show. We're going to have 3 title fights on it, maybe even 4 title fights, the way that we're looking at the matches just now for the first card back. And it's going to be a big,
who's your bantamweight
show? Mitch Martin. Yes.
I know a good bantamweight. I got a good bantamweight for you.
Yeah, you got a good bantamweight. You've got a good featherweight and a good flyweight. I didn't know you had a good bantamweight as well. Or is one of them moving?
One of them can. That's awesome. That's really good to hear. Yeah. So,
but
3 or 4 title fights.
Yeah,
one card.
Where I was going with that is, as well as we are not just as badly handicapped as all the other shows. We will be able to survive with 300 or 400 tickets getting sold and still have the same level of show, just simply because of some of the sponsors that we've got involved and some of the broadcast money that we bring in as well. So we are looking to go fairly hard towards the rest of the year.
That's good. That's so good to hear. It's nice when the business is in that kind of position.
Yeah.
And the government had a 500 person ban, like a limit, initially when they were cutting down. So I imagine they're going to try to reopen the same way that they closed down, as in the opposite direction. So at some point, they're probably going to cap it from 100 to 500. And you're going to be able to kick off. 500
in Queensland would be perfect for us. I know that's what, just looking at the numbers that, I think it was Beast that was doing a show, and they get capped at 500. I'm pretty sure it was right before
they were going to run one. I think he ran one in Gladstone.
Yeah.
Was that was capped at 500?
Yeah, I think it was capped at 500 from what I can remember. Yeah. And, if that's how they open it back up, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. 300 in Western Australia is already.
I think when he got capped, they changed it the week of the fight from 500 to 100. And he went online and kept the fights going. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah, it's hard.
It was it was a rough period. People were still trying to get their shows done. Yeah. And I think there was a fine line between, as a local promoter, I imagine it'd be a little bit like gyms. There's a fine line between how much you put into it and losing that money.
Yeah.
If you've already paid for all the tickets for the flights, the accommodation, all that, running the show is important because you kind of want to get some money back. But at the same time, you can't put people's health at jeopardy.
It's good, running the show under circumstances where or you suspect you're going to make quite a large financial loss. It's still important. I mean, I've done it a lot, especially in the early days. I've knew 10 days out, I'm fucked here. I'm gonna lose a lot of fucking money. I'm selling that brand new car I bought, just to sort this out. But after talking with a couple of people that were round about me and that gave me good advice, it was a case of, well, how long are you planning doing this for? And I'm like, well, I want to build a business out of doing it. And they're like, well, in terms of integrity and in terms of your reputation in the sport, you've got to take that hit. You've just got to take it. You can't cancel. They can't cancel the show because people will then always be wondering, is this show going to go ahead?
Are we going to make it?
Yeah.
And fighters as well.
Exactly.
I've personally gotten ready for 2 fights. Actually, they were my debut fights for a promotion that was going to hold an event out in Mount Isa. And on both occasions, I was a week out. The show was cancelled. So, it's tough. And because it was my first fight as well, it's like you're super motivated because you're a young athlete. So you're training, eating right, doing everything right. It's not so bad. I reckon if it happened to me now, I'd be Fucking unbreakable.
Well, I'd fought boxing and kickboxing. I'd fought a lot of kickboxing and a few boxing fights as well. And it's getting to my late 30s, and I was promoting MMA, and I've been training jiu-jitsu since 2005, and I'd been training at Puma MMA since then. And I thought, look, I need to have a couple of fights, and as you can probably tell, my weight yo-yo's fucking crazy from when I'm training when I'm not training, and I was matched for my debut as well, maybe 3 or 4 times, and every single time I lost my opponent maybe a week or 10 days out, and I went through the most horrible fucking, for me anyway, for a fat old guy, I went through such a horrible lifestyle change for so long to then get it ripped away from you right at the end. I know how tough it is. I eventually then got one fight and never had another one, but I think it was already broken. But then, the mental strain of getting ready for so many that actually never happened was enough. And it wasn't always somebody else's fault. I broke my hand and hurt my back once as well, and it was actually when I was training for my second fight, and I kept both quiet, and I was just gonna, still take the fight, and it got to about 2 weeks out, and I just couldn't even, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even fucking get out
That's
couch
crazy. I broke my hand in a fight, and I couldn't fucking imagine training with a broken hand. That would be a nightmare.
Well, the thing, I was actually that bad that it didn't look as if it was much different from when it was good.
Injuries are part of the sport.
Yeah.
So, a few more shows for the year. Come back with a bang.
Definitely going to have another 3 shows minimum this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as the Australian scene goes, I mean, obviously you need to talk highly of the Eternal MMA athletes and champs, but who do you think is the top prospects in the country? I mean, you hold shows everywhere now. Yeah. So,
well, top prospects in the country, I'm obviously going to talk, Eternal athletes up because I put them in that position to reach where they are because I did rate them. Yeah. But I think the top male prospect in the country just now is Jack Della at welterweight. Mm-hmm. And I think the top female prospects, Mondota or Casey. Yeah. I think the two of them are ready to walk straight into the UFC and be competitive. Yeah. Outside of Jack's probably could be competitive in most places.
I don't think Casey loses to anyone in the country, to be honest with you.
I don't think there's many countries she loses to anyone.
Like, when you talk about well-rounded, you talk about people who can grapple, wrestle and strike as well. Yep. Not who's the best at each discipline, but who's just the best rounded athlete that can take a fight anywhere. Yeah. And as far as female athletes go in Australia, she's hands down next on the list. So
she's mongrel as well. She's got that mongrel in her. She just loves to fight. You watch it, she enjoys it. She enjoys every minute of it. Whether she's in the top or whether she's in the bottom, she loves it. She's a great example to people getting into the sport that maybe take a loss or take 2 losses. And Jack Dell is the exact same. Both of them started out 0-2. Yeah, and just didn't quit. They just kept going, and now they're on a Jack's 7-2 or 8-2 just now.
Yeah, I think I seen his last fight in Perth.
Yeah,
was it
one against Glenn Pettigrew? Yeah, I mean, that was another good fight, and he started that fight a little bit slow, but the power in his hands, especially going to the body, is just he's a machine.
That's awesome. And in case he's training over at Tiger Muay Thai, right?
Yeah, so she's
still over there.
Yeah, she got the scholarship there in July 2019. So she got the year there, but she's just going to stay. So
she'll stay on after July.
She'll stay on after July.
And plenty of people have done that. I mean, Volkanovski, Kai France, they're all in the UFC now. They all went over there and got scholarships. Brad Riddell was training and coaching over there. I mean, the list goes on.
I mean, you can talk about the level of coaching anywhere. There's a fantastic level of coaching in Australia. There's a fantastic level of coaching in New Zealand. But the thing that's really important for her as a female at that weight is the number of training partners she's got. She just doesn't have that number of training partners that's going to train as often as her in Australia.
Most gyms in Australia struggle to have either enough training partners for females, flyweights, or heavyweights.
Yeah. Well, you see some gyms that all of a sudden the culture and the size of the student at that gym all change. Look at Puma, for example, for a while when Tim Moore, Shannon Ross, Reese McLaren,
gym full of flyweights,
and then you'd go to other gyms and it was, everybody was, heavyweights or light heavyweights, and although there's not so many anywhere in Australia these days, but there was all welterweights and middleweights and lightweights, and that's for a reason. You know, that's not coincidence. That shows that they've got people to train with. They've got bodies to, you know, to help them get to where they want to go while they're helping the other person as well. And it's a reciprocal agreement, obviously.
Yeah. Thailand's one place I haven't been to train, but I know what it's like to have solid training partners and to travel and just feel that difference in training partners as well. You know, just different exposure. Tiger Muay Thai would have that exposure. People constantly coming through. It's never the same people. Yeah, you know what I mean. So that'll be good for her. So hopefully, her path.
Yeah, and look, I remember actually it's one of the things when you first started base as well. Obviously, you know, because of what's going on in the world just now, you don't nearly see as much of it. But you know, quite often you'd put up photos of who you had in training during the day. You know, that you boys would all be going through camp together. You know, and you had a good selection of people that were obviously driving from all over Queensland, and some from North and New South Wales. You know, some days in the gym there you had, you know, yourself, Franku, Aaron Blackie.
We have got a crazy
Brenton,
team of fighters, and none of us are from the same gym.
Yeah,
like most of us are coaches or PTs, and we come together as people who. Well, the fortunate thing for us is, and a lot of people don't have it, is we have day training.
Yep.
Right. The biggest problem for PTs when they want to compete is they lose a shitload of clients. Yeah. Right. You know, and a lot of people have day jobs and want to work want to train at night. We're fortunate that we need to work morning and night, and we've got a large enough group to give each other every sort of look, you know, or aspect of training. You know, there's me, Elliot, Aaron, Stewie, pretty much Matt Seaton, Franku was there for a bit. We go everywhere from flyweight through to, you know, sort of welterweight.
You're going to get Zach back fighting? You're going to talk Zach
I've been talking.
again?
Do you have a fight for him?
Mate,
I reckon I can convince him.
I've been trying to convince him since the day now that he stopped.
Hey, that guy is a killer.
Yeah,
he is.
I remember when
he's right there with. When you grapple with him, it's he can do what he wants to. It's pretty demoralising.
I remember Joe Perry was talking to me about him at first, and I think I gave him his debut, or it was his second fight. I think it was his debut, and Joe had been telling me how good he was in the gym, how good a grappler he was, how good his jiu-jitsu was, how good his wrestling was, and I didn't say anything but striking. Put him in his first fight, he had a head kick knockout win in under 10 seconds. I was like, you didn't tell me about this, Joe.
Man, he's good. He's really good, and you know, he's just gone away and done his thing, and his jiu-jitsu is fucking insane, man. Like insane. You know, he's travelled around and trained with a bunch of different people. Obviously trains with Danny now.
Yeah, he's obviously a super intelligent bloke as well.
He's very smart. Yeah, the way he approaches the game, smart. You know, he's the polar opposite to me as far as I'm just like, I've got a pain in my back. I'll just keep fucking trucking through that, and I'll just I'll get better. He's the opposite. You know, he'll look after himself, and he's just very good. Yeah, I can't talk highly enough about his jiu-jitsu and his wrestling and his boxing. You know, I'm not so much about his kicking, but I don't know, like he doesn't kick me. He just boxes the shit out of me. So it's just his boxing really, but he's just good everywhere. Yeah, you know, and I'm fortunate that not just to have him as a training partner, but to have him as a coach.
Yeah, so there's a few people in Australia that I wish would have seen MMA as more of a career for themselves, and you know, put a little bit more into it, because I believe they could have got to the highest level, and Zach's one of them.
Oh man, he's so good at doing what he does. You know what I mean? They always talk about the higher level guys. You know what they're going to do, and you can't stop it because they're so fucking good at it. And he's that guy. And so I'm sure if he ever chooses to fight again, he'll just have his way with whoever he wants to. Anyway,
I'm pretty sure he'll be difficult to beat.
I'll stay on him. I'm always on him. I'm on Ian Bone too. It's time for him to come out of retirement.
Yeah, I was talking to you a couple of weeks ago.
He doesn't call it a retirement, you know. He's like, I'm not retired. I'm just taking a break. So if you're taking a break, you know, and you're not willing to say you're retired, then maybe you got time for another fight.
Oh, I might be working him as well.
Just work on him. And but I'm always stirring him up on social media about it. It's cool. You know, he's my first coach, and it's really fun to see him get ready for a fight and be there next to him. So
yeah, I see him traveling over to Japan with you as well most times.
Man, so he trained me when I joined the army. Then he trained, like, as he was one of my first instructors in the army. Then he got out. Then I went and seen him to train MMA, and then so he trained me for 2 years, and then I moved to Brisbane on posting, and he sent me to the gym that I went to at the time, being coached by Dan and Steve Compton. And, man, it's just we just stayed friends forever. And, you know,
he's a good
he's
bloke.
always there for me when I, like, still to this day, I ring up, I'm like, fuck, this coronavirus shit. You know, this is pissing me off.
We'll get him started,
he'll
the
just give me like this, you know, he just gives me a clears my mind, and
Yeah.
he's always there for me. He's a really good guy, but he's a good martial artist, and I think if you put the time in to whatever you say you're going to do, then he'll give you as much time as you need to make it happen. That's the kind of person he is, you know. But if you're full of shit, you're not honest, and you don't have the courage to do what you're saying you're going to do, then probably wear thin on him after a while.
Yeah,
but
I can imagine.
I've been really fortunate. He went to Atlanta, cornered me in Atlanta. He's cornered me in all 3 of my Japan fights. Man, he's been everywhere with me, everywhere. So it's been really cool.
I was lucky enough when I was up in Townsville before Corona struck in March to get to train at Courage a couple of times. And he's got a really good gym there. I had really good numbers in the mats, really good culture, and the coaching style is fantastic. You know,
Man, it's crazy how many people he gets into that
Man,
gym.
it's so good. He's doing something right.
Yeah,
you know, he's doing something right.
It's like a gym like half the size of my house, and he's just I don't have a very big house. He's a gym, you know, his gym's probably like half the size of my gym.
Yeah.
And he'd have 3 times the people.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
and they're all good people as well. You know, all the classes that I've done there and the time that I spent there, everybody's fantastic, and that's credit to him. Credit to the culture starts at the top, obviously.
Of course, you know, that's where it starts and it rolls down. Well, mate, best of luck with 2020.
Thank you.
Post coronavirus. If you want the best athletes in the country, come hit me up. I've got a couple that I'm sure would be
I was planning
keen to take a couple of your straps.
I was planning on talking to you about a couple of them while I was up anyway.
Oh, yeah. and depending on how much money you got, I know another one as well. So, but yeah, it's all good. Thanks for making the drive. I appreciate it. It is a lot further than what you thought, which surprised me when you said yes. And best of luck for 2020
thanks.
And beyond. And I look forward to hopefully working with you.
Thanks, Damien. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me.
No worries, man. Thanks for that. Have a good one.